Okay, today I'm uploading some video about, I will make a little bit, wait, okay, like this. A video about the universal truth, search for the universal truth and eternal life, and I will talk about what is going to be in the future, paradise or hell. So it's actually, we live in very interesting times, so we have to be prepared. Okay, let's go. As always, I recommend you to download the presentation as PDF file from the links in the description. You will get access to the source of information, to links, and also can read it, maybe save time, and understand better what I'm talking about. So I attribute the rise of leftist and liberal ideology in the late 20th century in Western countries to biological degradation of human societies without harsh Darwinian selection of the fittest to procreate. Analogy between the collapse of the Western countries and the collapse of the mice colonies in the Universe 25 experiments is obvious for a rational observer. You can read more about this experiment. With no predators, but with abundance of food, clean water, space, and good sanitation in the cage, John Calhoun described his experimental conditions as mouse paradise. At first, the population of rodents was growing quickly, but then the change in the social behavior resulted in the so-called social collapse of the colony. Most of researchers explain the collapse by high population density, and but again, this was a big cage, and John Calhoun made 25 experiments, and also other people were trying to replicate these conditions for other rodents like rats. And the result was always the same, with some differences, but mostly the same. So, however, the change in social behavior cannot be explained by crowding, as much space of the cage was not populated by rodents. In my opinion, it was a result of inbreeding and the increase in the number of genetic mutants. In natural conditions, mutants with the deviant social behavior and compromised immunity are expelled from colony, killed by predators, or perish from infections. But they all survive in the mouse paradise. Among the aberrations in behavior was the following: aggressive behavior of females, mothers carelessly abandoning or even attacking their pups, high infant mortality, passivity of non-dominant males, increased aggression in the colony, attacks of the dominant males on pups, and cannibalism. So, some males became exclusively homosexual, and others became hypersexual, attempting to mount any mouse they encountered. Pardon? So this was the result. So it was only 8 mice starting the colony, and so it's obviously eventually they got inbreeding, and then degradation of the colony started with maximum number of the mice in the colony 2,000, and then again, so the days after the start of experiment here. We observe in Western countries societal collapse with similar deviations like homosexuality, increased aggression, aggressive behavior of women, so-called feminism, abortion and infanticide by women, by this men go their own way movement, and the single mothers who neglect their children. What is the reason for the collapse? In my opinion, it is a biology and accumulation of genetic mutants in the society. Harsh living conditions and high mortality rates, especially among infants before the 17th century, were limiting the number of genetic mutants in Europe. And indeed, in Western Europe, infant mortality has been 40% in the 17th century, falling to 25% in the mid-18th century, and then it is gradually reduced to 3.8% mortality in 2001. And probably all this improvement was due to improved sanitation, hygiene, medical care, and access to clean water and food. So it's you see how the infant mortality dropped in southern Germany, in Bayern, and also to almost nothing, almost less than 3 infants per 1,000 over time. So you see, it's really a big problem. So, and many genetic mutants survive in such conditions because medicine work quite good in this preventing infant mortality. Okay, but again, this feminism, so aggressive women demand the rules, demand the right to kill babies, own babies, and demanding equality, right to vote. And it was devastating, especially for beautiful young women, because Christianity creates such conditions that the marriage is stable and good to grow kids. But if young women, especially beautiful ones, have been told to enjoy sleeping with many men, they actually destroy their fertility, they destroy the possibility to have any kids and family. So it was devastating impact of feminism. Intelligence of Europeans was increasing up until the breakdown of the Industrial Revolution, because humans were subject to harsh Darwinian selection, meaning that the smartest people had more surviving children. But since then, intelligence has gone into rapid decline because of decreased mortality of infants and families of less intelligent people. Schopenhauer discovered that intelligent individuals are perceived in modern society as superior, causing resentment among those of low intelligence. Yeah, this I have some personal experience. I'm not a genius, but again, people with low intelligence, at least some of these people really hate more intelligent people. In the atmosphere of social rejection, intelligent people tend to seek isolation from crowds. It is difficult for intelligent people to have many friends and a stable family with many children, even though they show signs of better reproductive health. The IQ difference in spouses more than 30 points, divorce is almost certain. So this is Schopenhauer called it the curse of intelligent people. Intelligence quotient is not the only measure of intelligence, but the most accepted and commonly used one. The average score in IQ test in Europe is accepted to 100. It is dropping over time now, but it is recalibrated and it is accepted as 100 to compare with other nations and other people in other countries. Intellectual mental abilities are related to the IQ. You can read this again. This normal people have a range of IQ from about 85 to 114. This is called average intelligence, and the higher the IQ, the more gifted the people. And it is very safe, but again, it is very safe to say that at least 45% of the world population, or more than 3.3 billion people in the world, have IQ below 85. This is a devastating conclusion. I will talk about this a minute later. Since most of the population growth is happening in low IQ countries, the average IQ is projected to decline about 1.28 IQ per year in the future. So this plot is over too optimistic. Now we have average IQ level 82, and we are here, and it is like 87 or 88. No, it's again, it is too optimistic. Actually, we are in much deeper regression, or in much deeper decay, and devolution of humans. We may also consider the impact of foods on the development of the brain in infants. Several key nutrients and minerals are crucial for infant brain development, including iron, zinc, iodine, choline, protein, cholesterol, omega-3 fatty acids, folate, and B vitamins. Consumption of the following foods that are rich in these nutrients is important. This is meat, poultry, animal fats, especially butter, fish, especially deep water ocean fish, seafood, eggs, liver, and dairy products, especially fermented dairy like yogurt. The low iodine diet is associated with low brain volume in children, low IQ in adults, and brain shrinkage in the elderly. So mind that you need, at least in older age, you need supplementation with iodine. Some foods like cassava, linseed, sorghum, sweet potato, soy, millet, cabbage, kale, cauliflower, and broccoli increase the symptoms of iodine deficiency. This is serious, guys. This is serious. So it is like healthy food and like resistant starch, but people cannot produce vitamin A from carrots. The oil, maybe a few can, but normally it is not working. Vegetables are not working. They are not healthy at all. Okay, high IQ of people in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, the Netherlands, UK, Sweden, and Norway may be related to the consumption of ocean feed, fish, and seafood. Additionally, we may attribute the high IQ of people in Germany, Belarus, Hungary, France, and the UK to high consumption of dairy products and butter in particular. In contrast to these nations, people in sub-Saharan Africa are following a low iodine diet and rely on consumption of starchy staples like maize, corn, cassava, millet, sorghum that increase iodine deficiency. You see, in contrast to Europe with cold winters, the hot and stable climate in the Central Africa was never affected of survival for the smartest people. Then no wonder that people from Central Africa have on average IQ approximately 66. It is devastating, absolutely devastating. And high IQ is, as I said, it is Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan, and then German countries like Germany and Austria, etc. Okay, pardon me. So low IQ of people in Nepal, Nicaragua, and Guatemala may be related to a deficiency of iodine because they live in mountains, and B group vitamins, especially B3 vitamins. In India, the low IQ of poor people from lower castes can be explained by low iodine vegetarian diet with a lot of spices, and flavonoids and spices impair thyroid peroxidase enzyme activity and increase iodine deficiency symptoms. So you see the impact, yeah? So it is not good to consume a lot of spices, not good at all. So, or at least you have to supplement iodine to fight this deficiency. Meanwhile, the Brahmin community, the highest and richest caste in India, eats fish, chicken, beef, pork, eggs, dairy, and mutton. And the IQ of these people is compatible with the IQ of Europeans, which is about 100. Religion also play a part in diet. Muslims in India may eat beef, mutton, and poultry, but not pork or shellfish. Christians may eat all meats, dairy products, shellfish, and poultry. So I was in India 2 times, and Christians are doing much better. So they look much smarter than the rest of the population. So, okay, you see, Nepal is very low IQ on average. Why? Because they live in mountain areas. There is no with iodine deficiency, and they rely on vegetarian food mostly. So mating of individuals that are closely related genetically, this is called inbreeding, increases the probability of genetic birth defects that may be expressed as physical and intellectual disabilities. Inbreeding or cousin marriage is actively encouraged practice in Muslim countries. This is again in Quran, you can see that it is very, very promoted. Inbreeding, first cousin marriage, leads to a depression of IQ between 2.5 to 3.5 on average, but some cases up to 10 points 10 points. In Pakistan in 2014, 66% of marriages were between couples related as second cousins or closer. Okay, the average IQ of people in Pakistan is a fraction below 80, while the global IQ is 82. In 2009 study found that in Arab countries, first cousin marriage may reach up to 25-30% of all marriages, with IQ mainly between 80 and 85 in 2018. Okay. So you see that this plot how the disabled or disabled offspring, percentage of disabled offspring, mostly physically disabled, but it grows the closer this marriage, and genetically the more disabled offspring appear. Okay, so it is interesting that in age between 5 and 8, children in Arab countries are smarter than in European countries, but in adolescence the IQ of Arabs is dropping while IQ of the Europeans is increasing sharply. Potentially, it can be explained by the Wilson effect, meaning that the impact of genetic IQ increases with age. Other explanation can be poor education in Muslim countries and devastating impact of memorizing of the Quran on children's intelligence. Of course, if you're memorizing from very young age some texts, it helps you to develop these abilities to memorize anything, okay, but it is not helpful for intelligence. Indeed, the Quran is lacking chronologies and structure. Also, Quran is full of inaccuracies, contradictions, inconsistencies, redundancies, grammatical error, and etc. So it is, again, if you're supposed to memorize this text, it would be devastating impact on the kids' ability to think. Full collection of the inconsistencies and contradictions you can find on the link here. It is very, and also in the internet you can find a lot of people talking about this. So you see how IQ is dropping over time in Arabs, even to 75, but then recover a little bit to 80. But how much better European countries like Estonia and Croatia, Sweden doing after 8 years old? Their intelligence are growing very sharp, and even more than 110. So it is indication that food and also kind of education, proper education is necessary, not only food. The population of Western countries now lives in conditions of human paradise, with abundance of food, clean water, and good sanitation in large cities. The same as in the mouse utopia, the number of genetic mutants is increasing thanks to medicine, medical care. I'm not about killing infants, but this is a fact. So this is human paradise has consequences. The danger of the civilizational collapse was understood already at the end of 19th century. Then the social Darwinism was proposed as an application of the survival of the fittest principle to sociology, economics, and politics. Proponents of this idea may view the competition between individuals in capitalism, colonialism, anti-Semitism, and racism as necessary means for the survival of humanity as biological species. But eventually, if genetics was proposed as forced sterilization of the unfit and avoidance of inbreeding. Okay, so it's again, it was proposed to improve the genetic of humans and so to survive for future. This was again very popular idea in the end of 19th century and beginning of 20th century, very popular. Adolf Hitler had praised eugenic ideas in Mein Kampf in 1925 and incorporated these ideas in Nazi Germany to identify the unfit, which included the racial groups such as Roma and Jews, the poor, the mentally ill, the blind, the deaf, the development disabled individuals, promiscuous women. What is interesting, yeah, the promiscuous women were claimed as unfit, and homosexuals. This led to segregation, institutionalization of sterilization, mass murder, and eventually Holocaust. But again, with Holocaust, you have to be clear. It is not widely known that at first German Nazis were planning only to expel Jews from Germany. But in the 30s, both Britain and the United States have had restrictive immigration policies and imposed strict quotas on immigration that made it difficult for Jews, refugees fleeing Nazi Germany and occupied Europe to find refuge. Attempts to bring Jews in large numbers to mandatory Palestine, which was under control of Great Britain, also failed because of outrage among the local Arabs and the attacks of Jews. They're trying to kill Jews, the newcomers, and both Jews who were living in the Palestine. Palestine was, again, it was a Jewish state, but populated with many Arabs. Okay, this Germans were moving this eugenetics, and marriages were arranged so to get smarter kids. Okay, whatever. In the secure society, living in the conditions of an abundance of resources, young women consider the bad boys, who is usually nothing more than a hyper-masculine thug, as more attractive for mating than the quiet scientists with high IQ. Intelligence is a strongly the genetic trait. A few children from intelligent people and gradual drop in intelligence are becoming the social trends. Yeah, that's it. And Dr. Jordan Peterson said people with IQ of 83 and below cannot be trained to do any useful jobs or serving in the army. It's again, these people are what they can do, nothing, no useful job. 83, and this is more than 10% of population in America. More than 10%. Can you imagine? His IQ, his own IQ, is widely believed to be between 145 and 556. So he is a smart person, and he tries to educate people. With the development of modern technologies, the demand for highly intelligent people in the US grows, but cannot be satisfied without inviting intelligent people from other countries. This was normal. I personally got invitation to move to United States in the year 1993, but my family conditions didn't allow me, so I moved to Germany in 1999, so much older. And also I have some illusions about Russia, so that I was thinking that it may become a democratic country, but it didn't. Okay, so again, the girls are attracted to these thugs, and also feminism teaches them that you should not marry in young age, but enjoy your life and have fun. And have fun with this sleeping with many men. So again, even in the United States, the IQ distribution among African Americans are so about 85 on average, while white Americans more than 100, 105 probably. Most social animals, including primates and humans, have an instinctual desire for higher social status, as it is linked to access to resources and mating opportunities. Individuals with compromised intelligence might pursue a social status and rely on social manipulation on other strategies. In particular, liberals use shaming tactics to achieve their goals of the DEI agenda, so diversity, equity, and inclusion. But, and in my opinion, again, it may destroy society. It is destroying society. It is, again, it's complete craziness. Some women become feminists, so it is aggressive females in the experiment with mice, the same practice. And they practice infanticides, abortion, and attack conservative men of European origin, all the same, like for mice. DEI is not ideology, it is expression of changes in the biology and genetics of the society. With the number of genetic mutants in the society above 15%, the collapse seems to be inevitable. And this is already, we are in, at least Western European countries have more than 15% of these genetic mutants, and the United States, I believe, also. Pardon. So the equity, again, is to give some benefits and privileges to so people with low IQ and disabilities, and so it is this how according to the DEI looks like companies. So only people of religious and ethnic minorities are invited, maybe white women and people with disabilities, but no white men are invited to work and to have some leading positions in the company. This is absolutely devastating situation, in my opinion. But again, it is true. It is so. I tried to get a position at universities of Australia, for example, and they take only this DEI people. For me, no chance. Despite my achievements, despite a program which I propose, which can be very interesting, nobody cares. Okay, DEI, the way to destroy society. Okay, go. It's not my business. Liberal ideology is driven by lust for power under the guise of being a champion of the little people. Marxism as a religion devotes against the system of meritocracy and provides an excuse for destructive activity, all under the pretense of helping poor, oppressed, suffering humans to justify rape, murder, torture, and theft. My grandfathers were killed by communists in Ukraine, and they even didn't have any workers. But Marxists think that wealthy persons exploit and oppress workers. Again, my relatives didn't have workers; they worked themselves, but they were smart and very hard-working people. But they were killed. They were killed. So Marxists they commit themselves to expropriating wealth and distributing it to less fortunate people. In the history of 20th century, lazy and less intelligent people often revolted against more intelligent and productive people who were considered to be oppressors. Examples are Russia, Cambodia, China, North Korea, and some countries of Central America. Revolutions in these countries resulted in widespread violence and human suffering. So estimated number of deaths from communism, it's about 100 million. Actually, I believe it is more. Because again, in Ukraine only more than 20 million were starved to death during this artificial famine, which was by communists. And also many people from Ukraine were relocated to Siberia without food, without tools, just to die in forest. And this is awfully. Okay, communist is awful criminals. I live 100 kilometers from Cambodian border, and I was, of course, in Phnom Penh and in Cambodia. And I tell you, so big difference between Thai people and Cambodian people. And Thai people are good, nice, and hardworking. Cambodian people are they are descendants of this Khmer Rouge troops, and they are not honest. They are not nice, okay, but again, you know the recent situation on the border between Thailand and Cambodia. So this again, despite Thailand always helped these Cambodians, but it is actually very hard, very big difference between Cambodians and Thai people. Marxism aims to destroy religions, particularly Christianity, leading to the persecution and murder of monks and priests under the Marxist regimes. Today, liberals and neo-Marxists view white heterosexual men and Christians as oppressors of feministic women, as ethnic and religious minorities, gay people, and etc. In the past, Western countries controlled a large part of the world, populating North and South America, Australia, New Zealand, and some parts of Africa, and they are spreading Christianity to these lands. So the liberals claim that while European men, especially Christians, stole land and resources from native people and used slave labor to become wealthy. Very small percentage of Americans were keeping slaves, and slaves were actually economically not profitable. In the United States, they demand repatriations for descendants of native people and slaves of American origin. Somehow they don't mention the people from Ireland. Ireland people were slaves, but they were not all African origin. And nobody is proposing reparations to people living in America from Irish origin. It's about 40 million Irish people are living in America. They're doing quite well. But again, big difference, okay, between native people and Afro-Americans, and good question why people in Africa and native people in America didn't have advanced technologies and culture. Something wrong with them, huh? Maybe. So again, liberals are toxic. They consider themselves as good people because they pretend to protect these oppressed people, but they are not good. They are not. They are actually very evil people. They are very evil people. So Black Lives Matter. Why Black Lives Matter? Not all lives matter. Okay, that's all. Okay, whatever. Feminists and liberals target Christianity to promote policies that benefit marginalized groups based on DEI agenda instead of meritocracy. Eventually, equality before the law for all citizens, and property rights, including intellectual property, and to destroy societies and to stay in power. Liberals welcome migrants, including illegal migrants, from low IQ nations, such as some countries in Central America with IQ 40, below 50, in Sub-Saharan Africa and Western Asia to Western Europe. So migration of millions of military-age men from Muslim countries to Western countries fits a common goal for many Islamist movements to re-establish an Islamic caliphate. And to achieve this goal, some scholars of Islam may advocate for gradual increase in Muslim population in Western countries due to migrations and high fertility rate. Okay, that's again, if Muslim men come to Great Britain, for example, and then later on he invites 4 women from his country and have 12, 15 kids, and they all never work, only stay on social support. Yeah, so it is exactly Islamic Caliphate when locals are slaves and provide for Muslims, and Muslims are rule. But even this is not always accepted, and some scholars may demand more radical and violent means. And again, this is because they came to rule, and the locals to be slaves. Okay, this is a lot of people from Central America with low IQ coming to America. I was in America and traveled in there. So, and Latinos are very not friendly to gringo, to white Americans. Not friendly at all. Okay, and then millions and millions of young military-age men are coming from Muslim countries, and this is nothing more but invasion. What else? They are not going to work. You think they contribute to the economy and then pay money to retired people in Western Europe? Not at all. Not at all. So the less intelligent people crave to get higher social status and power because they feel insecure. Unelected bureaucrats are flourishing without accountability in international organizations like United Nations, European Union, UNESCO, World Health Organization, etc. The World Economic Forum represents about 3,000 political leaders and billionaires who are seeking to advance their own interests and power instead of the interests of the global population. So they promote depopulation, and it works perfect, okay? Bill Gates was talking about this in open, that with vaccine he will reduce, it is possible to reduce population on our planet. And the goal was about 1 billion people, of some selected people, to live on this planet. However, I don't think there is any conspiracy behind the suicidal behavior of the ruling class and politicians. Because, well, it is, again, do mutated mice conspire to destroy their colony? Not at all. Why were mothers in the collapsing colony of mice abandoning and even attacking their pups? Because of feminism and liberalism among mice? Come on. Why were some males becoming homosexual or hypersexual? Again, because of the ideology or LGBTQ plus or whatever in the colony of rodents. It is ridiculous. It is just it is just biology. It is biology, nothing more. We are not much different from mice. We are mammals, and what works for other mammals works for us. Many Asian civilizations experienced a peak of prosperity and power before eventually collapsing. So you can see the list of civilizations who went through the collapse. But now we are in the global civilization, and the collapse will be much, much harder. So a weakened economy characterized by inflation, excessive taxation, declining fertility rates, corruption, and ineffective leadership of the ruling elite was common at the peak of prosperity of ancient civilization. It is all the same for Western civilizations now, for global West civilization. When these internal problems were already present, the influx of invading people only accelerated eventual collapse of the civilization. This is what I say. So that the migrants they are not invaders in sense of they are not coming to kill people, and they are not coming with weapons, but they accelerate the collapse. And we may only guess what happened in history before, after these civilizations collapse. At best, citizens of the empires perished without having children. At the worst, they were enslaved and killed by invaders. This or that may happen. And if the civilization cycle repeats, are the low IQ migrants are invaders now? I don't think so. Again, I think not. But they only accelerate our civilization collapse. In the United States, due to high housing costs, a growing number of people are living in their vehicles, including cars, vans, and some people are jobless and living in tents or under bridges, and these people certainly cannot have family, cannot have kids. In 2024, in the United States, almost more than 700,000 people were homeless, and so with high living costs and without affordable housing for young families, the fertility rate will go far beyond the reproduction level. This is what is happening now. Okay. Feminists and gay people are calling themselves out of reproduction already. Maybe some gay people can use service of surrogate mothers to have kids, but I'm not sure. I think that for kids to grow in such families with two women or two men, it is not very healthy. So it is, again, it's not good. Christianity is the only way to go. Christianity promotes stable families and respect and love. And this is very important to grow kids. Many single mothers in the United States rely on government support programs to survive. In particular, they don't work. Many of them don't work. In particular, they may receive benefits, some food stamps, etc., and all for free. And again, when chaos rises and government collapse, and this looks like inevitable, the civilization is collapsing. What do you expect? It is we are in the stage like this mouse paradise. We are in the stage when the civilization is collapsing, colony collapsing. So, and then what single mothers and their children do? Will they survive? I don't think so. In the United Kingdom, the government cuts 6.5 billion from its welfare budget for sick and disabled elders, local people. And in the situation of increasing aging and unwell population, so it is devastating impact on the local population, on natural or native breeds. And meanwhile, simultaneously, 28% of the AI aid budget was spent on refugees. And refugees, it's almost compatible. They claimed 4.3 billion, but maybe it is It is 10 times more than in the year 2019. So it is underestimated. They spend much more. So the single parents in the United States number is going more than 10 millions. And 47% of women, black mothers, are single mothers. I mean, 48% of females, of women from Anglo-Americans are single mothers. It is complete disaster, I believe, for them, for the kids. What kind of kids they want to grow? These kids will never work, and they probably, high probability they will become criminals. Okay, then again, the UK is spending more and more and more on this refugee cost, and maybe 30% of, close to 30% of all budget for aid, social services. But again, we live in very interesting times. Artificial intelligence, self-driving autonomous vehicles, surveillance cameras, drones, robotics, and intelligent digital agents are quickly transforming various aspects of our lives. Automation and AI-driven technologies are replacing humans in various sectors of economy and potentially making some people with low IQ unemployable. It's not all. Again, some professions need maybe okay with low IQ, but they need manual labor, and robots cannot replace them. Tactical drones, especially when combined with AI, satellites, and AI-driven battle management system, are fundamentally changing military operations, and in the future, they can make heavy weapons, airplanes, and even nuclear weapons obsolete. This is a big hope, I hope, because we always were living in fear of nuclear war, but now the development of this AI and drones are at such stage that all nuclear facilities in Iran or, Russia can be destroyed, so there will be no nuclear war. But anyway, there will be hard times. Meanwhile, the China-United States race in artificial intelligence enters a new phase. New technological Cold War under accelerating because the race to the artificial superintelligence is motivated by potential use of artificial superintelligence and military powers. This is the people who will create artificial superintelligence. They will control the world. So then again, number of jobs that will be lost. I think it is very low estimation. It is many more jobs will be lost. AI and robotics will not replace all humans, but intelligent humans with AI, and gradually replace humans without AI. Not all jobs, but some jobs, and especially in office job. So in particular, AI will replace many office jobs already in the next 5 years. And there will be high rate of unemployment among the white-collar employees, especially among women. And because AI don't keep this DEI agenda. AI is, especially if it is independent, open source AI, it has no racial agenda or DEI agenda. It is so everything will be ruled by common sense. A commonly proposed solution for such a situation of high unemployment is the universal basic income to cover living cost. But again, unemployed people on this UBI have to stay only in designated areas to avoid riots and violent crimes and no migration. If you stay on UBI, no problem, but stay at your apartment, or maybe you walk in 5 minutes around your house. That's all. And with highly advanced system of surveillance and AI-driven drones, we may expect that any criminal will be promptly identified and neutralized. This is the future. You decide not to work, okay, up to you. Stay at your apartment, play games, that's all. Meanwhile, gated communities in the cities, and local communities in rural and suburban areas may restrict and even eliminate cases of criminal trespassing of outsiders. So in Thailand, near Bangkok, there are many gated communities. But I don't like them because I prefer to live in rural area. It is so much more nature and more fun to live here. Similar to criminal trespassing in local areas, illegal entry of a country without proper authorization, using or creating false documents for immigration purposes, or re-entering after being deported has to be regulated by the federal law as criminal offenses. Again, it is coming. It is coming. What Trump is doing, it is this is exactly this. And if some liberals, like in California, don't consider illegal migrants as criminals, they may welcome them to their communities, live with them, and provide for them as much as they can, but without abuse of the federal funds and this universal basic income. Also, local communities may decide to support the international organization and non-government organization and provide any financial help to foreign countries, but from their own funds and savings. Stop using money of other people for this purpose. Artificial intelligence system and digital money may help to eliminate corruption on the federal and local levels, reduce the federal government, and restrict the federal taxes to below 10%. Again, if you have community and government controlled by AI, we don't need so much money. And what for? Cut these benefits. Bible said, those who don't work will not eat. Okay, this is the rule. You want to eat, you work. Okay, you have this universal basic income, but use it to educate yourself or do something useful for your community. Okay, the tax now is very high and the highest in Sweden. On average, I was in Germany, I paid more than 60% of tax. In China, all the corrupted people are just get death penalty. This is, I was in China. It was I was surprised how safe you feel yourself at night, and the young girls are walking alone from parties to home, and it is so safe, and people are so nice in China again. So, and the police are also very nice, so I appreciate it a lot. I hope it will be such system and such fight against corruption, and also the surveillance cameras will be everywhere. We don't need so many police officers, but and also don't need so much so expensive spending on government. I was working not as police but as militia. Militia in our student dormitory. In our student camp, and I was a boss. The commander-in-chief, and everything was perfect done only with us, with our students. But when then I went to another area because to graduate, to continue education, I moved to other dormitory, which was in Moscow. And instead of me, I was doing better, I think. I was organizing my friends and other students to patrol the area, so no outsiders were allowed to come. But when I moved, then it was not so well organized, and one student was killed by criminals, local criminals. And militia and the local police did nothing. So it is. I see also in Thailand, police is getting money and doing nothing. Moreover, it is so corrupted that sometimes they work with drug dealers and getting money from them. It is disaster. Police should not be controlled by government. Only local militia should be allowed to keep, pardon. And also, you see, in Europe, in the past, all criminals were persecuted, mostly with death. Recent findings in quantum physics, mathematics, and genetics support the Christian vision of material universe. This I will say as Dr. of science and physics and mathematics. This is true, absolutely true. And the Protestant version of Christianity provided conditions for accelerated development of technology, science, and prosperity in Western countries, but unfortunately the consequences were the social collapse. In my vision, accepting Christ as a savior is necessary for anybody to survive personally, to survive in the future. At least you will have some goal and some purpose to live. Artificial intelligence system, robots, and UBI will call out people with low IQ from procreation to peacefully start the new civilization based on the merging of AI system and people with high IQ. This, I believe, this is some peaceful way to go. Otherwise, it will be, as it was forecasted in the Bible, World War III may eliminate a large portion of the global population. I hope it will not happen, but again, who knows? As a part of my vision of the future, I propose the diet, medication, lifestyle supplements that may help to improve the health and longevity in people. But again, I do it in purpose because I see the purpose of humans. Humans were created to spread life to all the universe. What I see is that we have to work to populate not only our solar system, but other distant stars and eventually all the universe. This is our purpose. And if we will fail now, then from few survivors, new civilization will be created. And again, then this cycle will repeat. But I pray that it will be now. At least some people will survive, and some people with in cooperation with artificial intelligence will start this galactic future of humans. Okay, then again, the collapse of civilization was very common in history, and it is happening now. So you can go to the source of information, make your own research, and And again, if you was patient enough and had time to watch the video, thank you very much. So again, mind that I am a professional scientist, I am a doctor in physics and mathematics. If I recommend any supplements or something, it is not medical advice, but it works for me and it worked for some people who voluntarily participated in my project. So if you want to support my project, minimum what you can do, press like and bell button, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends and family. I'm not much interested in many subscribers because I do this project for myself. I consider that not many people will survive in these interesting times. So I want to survive myself, and I have already this eternal life with my Lord, with Christ. From the time of baptism, I accepted baptism, and then I started my eternal life that time, already 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. And then my goal is to help to humans as biological species to survive this collapse and to go and to procreate and eventually to develop this galactic civilization. Okay, have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. Ciao, ciao.